for you is an ode to the first dead pet. On the day you tell me your cat died, you go on to say that this is the first loss you've experienced as an adult. Too many times we are told, I'm so sorry for your loss. This sentiment should be reserved for the pets who we do not get to hold at the end, to offer one final pat, thank you, goodbye to. There is magic in holding a friend for years, sharing a bed with them, then helping to ease the passing from here to there. Instead of I'm sorry, I tell you congratulations, because this is a moment to be grieved, yes, but also celebrated, not apologized for. There is some ownership in being adult enough to hold a life for years, to be each other's companion, and to make the final call for the first time. So my collection tries to go through the really like banal aspects of pet parenthood, as well as the cancer diagnoses, and then the eventual death, and then just like losing your freaking mind because your favorite pet in the world has died. So I'm going to try to have some poems that touch on all of these aspects. So the next poem I have was based about a car accident my dog and I got in, and then my sister and I were trying to find the deer who hit me. I did not hit the deer hit me. So it's called Looking for Dead Bodies. My sister and I spend time searching for a body we're not sure exists. We recount steps, wander into overgrown weeds, looking for trails of blood and broken glass, while my dog waits in the car, wagging his tail. If he is okay, then I am okay. The mirror to my car is missing. The window to my door has shattered into glitter. And while my sister and I search for a body, my dog waits for me. The next poem I have is actually about, I guess I'll show her, Miss Kyla. So she was actually diagnosed with cancer 2 weeks before Baxter was. So it was just 2017 was my nightmare year. And so this kind of touches on some of the sicknesses that she has endured, on how dogs choose their people. The day he proclaims, I want a dog too, I shrug and say, okay. When he brings her to meet me, I stop mid-step, taken by the soft chocolate of her fur. She's beautiful, I whisper, and she licks me. In the days that follow, she finds herself on my bed, follows my dog and me to the bathroom, lays outside my door and waits. He sees, she is supposed to be my dog. And yet she has picked me because trauma recognizes trauma and seeks it out. When he takes my money, my prescribed painkillers, and all of his stuff, I tell him to leave the dog. When the vet consoles me saying, she was sick before she was yours, all I hear is she was yours. Nap time. I listen to their breath as they sleep curled against me. I crack apart my sternum so they can crawl inside the safety of my chest. Here, they rest soundly, bodies limp, trusting that there is no evil here, no harm will come. I am a statue standing still, a guard armed with bow and arrow to ensure safe passage. And when the time comes, I too fall asleep beside them. The next poem I have for you was a 2019 Best of the Net nomination. Woo woo. It's called Roadmap. There is no roadmap that suggests turn left and at cancer and right on chemotherapy street. It doesn't remind you to wear gloves or hold off on that beverage until after 10 o'clock because that marks the 12-hour interval. And you can't be too drunk when handling medication that can absorb through your skin, but is safe enough to give him. There is no roadmap to canceling plans, forgetting plans, or coming home early because there was a bad day. There is no roadmap to trying to foster new relationships because those feelings you felt were just under fingertips, and now they're somewhere under a needle while you wait for hope, for treatment, for anything other than what's happening here. An ode to the cancer that will take my dog. Also, I make a deal with myself before these readings that if I can make it through without crying, I get like a fancy drink afterwards, sex on the beach after this. So like, game face. The first time we meet, you are secured in a specimen jar, suspended in fluid in my beloved's blood. We have a staring contest until the vet tells me, there's still some hope. You may not be what I already know you are. The call comes days later, and my dog's body is etched with words like malignant, terminal, I'm so sorry. I hate you for the first week. Shake my fist at a God I'm not sure I believe in. Find myself praying for a misdiagnosis, praying that someone else is sick. But as days pass, it is clear that you have carved out space in my baby's organs. I try to keep hating you, but you start to teach me the value in each second of the day, the meaning in late night cuddles and the joy of feeding by hand. You teach me how love can break and rebuild. You teach me that love can fight and still lose. And this next one was a 2019 PNWA poetry finalist. It's also like one of my favorite ones about this whole circumstance that I've written, so yay. It's called Blood Pleas and Library Books. After 14 minutes, they come back to me crumpled on the floor and say I need to look at an aspiration, at an x-ray, to look eye to eye at the thing that will take you from me. They give me a deadline, 4 to 8 weeks, and I offer every sacrifice the Bible warned me against for anything longer. And my blood plea is answered. For the next 6 months, we live at this impasse of living and dead simultaneously. Like tomorrow doesn't matter because it's already here. We've had our return date stamped at the end of our novel, and now it's just a matter of returning you to the library. We eat in silence. I cook more than I used to. I wear gloves and wash my hands after your meals, after you puke the medication up, and I shove it back down your throat because I don't know how tomorrow works without you. And then, tomorrow is today. You can't get out of bed. You collapse getting into the car, and I plead with bone marrow, every skin fiber of my being, that today is not today, but it is. So I play God and force you to wait. I force you to stay with me one more weekend where we can't make it up and down the stairs anymore, where you refuse to eat, to get out of bed. And then Monday comes. In the morning, I don't want to get out of bed, don't want to shower, don't want to stop for breakfast, coffee, and order 2 sandwiches, don't want to drive to work, don't want to sit at my desk, don't want to watch the knife of time gut the next 7 hours, don't want to help you into the car, don't want to drive to where we go next, don't want to turn right at the stop sign, don't want to hear our song on the radio, don't want to park in the car, crawl into the back seat holding you, liquid pouring down my face. Don't want to open the door, don't want to walk in, don't want to hear them tell me I'm making the right choice, don't want to feed you treats out of my hand, don't want to watch the needle slide in, don't want to hear you yelp the second time they miss the vein, don't want to feel your body go slack, then stiff, don't want to rub your ears until all the warmth drains from them, don't want to walk out holding an empty leash, empty harness. I don't. Can you come here? Come here. Come on. Come lay down. Come on. Yes, you're being annoying. Sorry about that. The next poem I have is Dear Tinder. Profile picture depicts happy girl, shows gleaming white teeth earned with a $4 bottle toothpaste, occasional white strips, and brushing at least twice a day. Profile picture depicts well-adjusted girl, one with her arms thrown wide as though she's inviting the world in for a hug. Another where she twists her face in a funny way because she didn't like that joke. But the world is a joke. Isn't it so funny? Profile picture depicts girl with dogs. Dogs piled on the bed, dogs on the couch, dogs on top of a mountain, camping. She smiles with sunglasses on with the dog beside her inside a car. Profile explains, I have 3 dogs. They all sleep on the bed. Profile forgets to mention all these pictures were taken before August 14th. There are only 2 dogs now. Profile picture says swipe right because smiling face with white teeth promises a good time. Profile picture promises she's stable, promises she doesn't sit on my couch at night crying because the day before I put my dog down, my sister called to say my best friend died too. Profile picture and profile text promises two-dimensional girl, one that can't harbor grief in her chest like a ship anchor on a wooden dock that's rotting from the salt. Profile picture begs, swipe right so I can feel anything other than this. So like legitimately, like as everybody was like diagnosed with cancer, I was like, I'm gonna go on Tinder and start dating all of these random people for free food. And like that was what got me through the 6 months, because I was paying like $3,000 like per surgery, could not afford life. And then I was like, if I look cute enough, will you buy me beer and a breakfast sandwich? So yeah, survival techniques in case you ever need them. Not ready to let go. I carry my dead dog for months. He comes to work with me, stays buckled into the passenger seat while I meet with clients. When I work on contact notes, he sits atop my desk the way he used to lay on his bed. I'm careful to face the window so he can look out, or so that he can look in. I carry him on the bad days, hands touching the cool wood box, grasping for some trace of warmth. I carry him on the road trips because he hated being left home. I carry him, carry him, carry him, because I am not ready to let go. Do I have time for 2 more? Is that okay? They're short. So, and our friend Sarah died, was also the year that both of my sisters also lost their first pets that we had as adults. And so my sister Laura lost her cat Ollie, and my sister Jackie lost her dog Bailey. And so it was just this like complete fuckery of existence. And it was just really awful, but also this really incredible bonding experience that all 3 of them just decided to tap out. So this poem is dedicated to my sister and my nephew who are listening in on this call. When my sister calls to ask me, why would my dog be bleeding from the mouth? She asked me because I am a dog person, because I have a degree in medical biology and a lifetime ago planned to become a veterinarian. She asked me because I am a black hole of grief, and so on cue, I tell her she has to find where the blood is coming from. She doesn't call me for 2 days, doesn't follow up to tell me what she's found, and in the absence of my phone ringing, I know in the way you know. She puts him down 4 days later. Her husband says it was a tumor. Her son calls me sobbing, gasping for breath, saying, this must have been how it felt when you lost yours. And so this next poem is dedicated to everyone here who has a pet. To you before your loss. I do not envy what you'll go through, the stages of grief that come before the actual loss, the diagnosis, and if not that, the understanding that life is no longer permanent nor promised. But along this journey, I wish you this: cloudy eyes from mountaintops where the sky touches the sea, blankets of ocean tackled by sand, and everything in between. I wish you slower walks that remind you to catch your breath, days that lead to longer naps by your side. Above all of these things, I wish you old age, a gray face and arthritic bones, and the grace to brace for the inevitable, no matter how this moment comes to you. And at the end, peace.